When they came, they took us into the courtyard. I thought you would rescue us. Where were you? Why, Father? Why did you abandon us? Why did you let us die? Something you need?
These are sacred grounds. My sacred grounds. They are not meant for the living. Are you the one who disturbs our rest? Where did you get those? Those are mine! None may touch those save for me. That blade, that hilt, that pommel. To hold them again. Please, give them to me. Ah, yes, my precious sword. To wield it again would feel so good. I should never have shattered it. I must make it whole again. I must! Why do you have these? What did you want with them? Regret. The sword was my favorite possession. My best friend. And with it, I subjugated these lands. But in the process, I left my family unprotected. My sweet little girl was killed. I couldn't live with it. I shattered the blade in my grief. Mira? You saw my Mira? My poor sweet child. I wronged her so. I worried that her spirit would not rest. I wanted to seek her out. I have been unable to enter her tomb, though. I did. Since the day I discovered what had happened, all I wanted was to beg her forgiveness. Even more than I wanted this damn sword. Perhaps now, though, perhaps I can make amends. Perhaps I can show her how sorry I am. You can help me. You can show her. You can tell her how sorry I am. If she sees the sword, she will... Maybe she will understand. Please, I beg you, give my daughter the sword. Yes, Please do. Here, take it. Perhaps it will allow her to rest. Perhaps it will allow me to rest.
I should curse you, mortal, for disturbing our rest, but my spirit has never been at peace. I've walked these ruins for centuries, cursing the king's name. My father in name, but never in action. He left me here to die. Actions speak louder than words. My father was always quick to make promises, but in the end, when it mattered, he was away at war when I needed him most. An apology can't change that. His sword? His most prized possession? His most sacred treasure? He never even let anyone touch it. Is this how he hopes to find redemption? Give it to me. I would like nothing more than to destroy it. Thank you. His connection to the sword is so strong, I can sense his energy. I remember, there was a time when I was a little girl and he made me feel safe. I could at least speak to him, I suppose.
I would give it all, Mira. The sword, the keep, the kingdom. All of it for you.
I forgive you, Father.
My sword is again broken, but this time for good, and for good purpose. She has forgiven me. You have healed a wound that was centuries old. Even the greatest empire is a desolate domain without the ones you love. I never learned that lesson in life, but I hope you have. May the Eight be with you, young traveler.
Triumphant, I hope. You certainly have been gone long enough. Wait a minute. Where's the sword? Could you please elaborate a little? I've waited here for quite some time with the expectation that you would bring me the sword. I think you owe me at least some explanation. You what? I've been researching this for months. I hiked all the way out here on my own, I should note. And now you tell me you gave my treasure to someone else? Next time, if I want something, I'm not hiring someone I meet on the road.
You up for helping out a fellow adventurer? Look at you! I can tell by the look of you you're traveling around, meeting people, seeing new places. That's the life I'm going back to. This plantation is doomed and my days here are done. It's just been bad luck and lately, pure madness. Last week the Iron Hand ogres attacked. They broke the levee, pillaged the place. The orcs drove them back, but that was just the beginning. Now bandits are looting everything we have left. That's the thing. It was my adventuring band that founded this plantation. The mage Drodara put up the gold, but we all decided to retire here. Bad idea. I just want to leave now, but the bandits are holding my companions. They need help. What a relief. I wouldn't have been comfortable just abandoning my companions, but if you're going to help them, that frees me up. And let me tell you, it feels good. I'm just not the settling down type. I know that now. Nah, they might want to stay, but I just can't deal with all that. We made a good go of it here, but I need to move on now. Spend some time alone. It's a shame, because we made quite the team back in our younger days. There's me, Jan, the thief. Then there's Drodara, our magic user, the brains of the team. The brawn came from our fighter, Narstig, and then there was our cleric, Murkwatcher. She's really a shaman, but we called her cleric back then. I guess our team does sound a bit quaint these days, doesn't it? Drodara first suggested we retire about 20 years ago, but it was 10 years later before we actually settled down here. Technically, yes. He originally put up all the gold to build the place out and hire the workers. Drodara gave the rest of us a 20% share each. It's all pretty much worthless now. Well, they either drowned when the ogres broke the levees, or they fled, or the bandits have probably killed them now. I didn't see anyone left when I was sneaking away, except my companions, and the bandits have them tied up. The Iron Hand ogres were making a drive to attack Wayrest. We fell in their path. They ate all our livestock and broke the levees. Then General Godron and his orcs drove the ogres back, but these looting bandits came in right after. They're just a ragged group of looters and scavengers as far as I can tell, though I guess they're a little more organized than I would have expected. Drodara or one of my other companions may know more.
Like the bustle of cities. I come from a big family, so it reminds me of home.
never have enough of that.
Getting good at this.
Oh, I probably should be proud of that.
Thanks to you, young one. I will find my own escape now.
You fight well. Thank you for freeing me, friend.
This one thanks you, stranger. Please, come to meet in the storehouse. Rodara's companions. Friends. Dungy bandits would have tied them up like this one. You found them. You freed them, yes? Oh, this is good. Relieves Rodara greatly. Many years we traveled together, and many years we worked to make this plantation profitable. Rodara can abandon plantation. Good friends, he cannot. So, our sweet Breton sister has departed. So considerate. Bah. Jan always planned to return to the road. This one is not surprised she left. Wish her well. Perhaps this is the way for Rodara also. Why, is this not what Rodara retired for? Ogres, floods, crocodiles, and bandits? So fun. Would you stay? Probably not. Rodara thinks maybe adventuring life is easier after all. Might need help convincing his other friends to leave, though. Ah, this one would be most grateful. After so many years, Drodara just doesn't have the heart to break everyone's dreams. You could talk to Narstig? He'll have better listening if it comes from you anyways. It was a boon from Bandar that you happened along. Was it Jan who asked you to help Drodara and the others? She has shared those feelings many times over the years. After the events of the last few days, Drodara thinks she might be right. Perhaps retirement is just a bad idea. Of course, Jan will always be a good friend. Still has wildness in her blood, though. Drodara understands that she needs to roam some. Perhaps she will join us when her legs grow weary. Drodara is old, and working a farm is hard, especially if starting over. Like Jan, Drodara also misses life of adventure. If you can convince Narstig and Murkwatcher to leave, this is what Drodara would prefer. Yes, this one was a member of the Mages Guild in good standing for many years. Was tired of casting spells, though. Drodara wanted to settle down and rest. But maybe that just wasn't the fate Riddlefar has seen for him.
Ah, the young adventurer again. You remind me of the old days. So many stories I could tell. But you'll want to be leaving, of course. Well, we might be heading out too. Jan might be right about the curse here. Speaking of Jan, have you seen her? He does? Imagine that. I was trying to think of how to convince him. That settles it then. If we're hitting the road, though, I'll need my old gear. Recovering it will be easier said than done. There is. If I had my armor, my helm, and my axe, I'd do it myself. But that's the thing. When we retired here, I buried all my adventuring gear out by the levee. Would you be willing to go out and get it for me? More I think about it, more I wonder why we stayed here this long. A true Nord dies with his axe in hand, not a pitchfork. Besides, this is more swamp now than farm. We spent years building that levee. Damn ogres! I suppose they were thinking just to leave destruction in their wake. Even if they had sacked Wayrest, it's not like they planned to settle in these parts.
Nice hole.
returns from my service.
Beck, I hope you're watching.
You've done nothing, mortal.
Now there's a sight for some sore old eyes. Oh, I missed this stuff. You've done me a great favor by getting it back. Probably doesn't look like much to you, but this helm and armor withstood the blows of the Orc warlord Noctul, a Nord killer at Farum. This axe lopped off that monster's misshapen head. I'll drink to those days, and more of them to come. Murkwatcher has aged much in these last few years. She often seems confused about where she is. She can be incredibly stubborn, too. Perhaps you could approach her about leaving.
Many drowned when the levees were broken. Others were eaten by the crocodiles. It's not the beasts' fault, though. It is their nature to hunt. Their spirits sing a song my heart hears. It is the song of the crocodile. They sing of nature's cycles. Every new life has its song, taken from an old one that is no more. Properly embodied, the life of a creature often requires its death. The song of the crocodile is loud and powerful. I know its melody. I know. It is natural for them to now return to a life of adventure, but not so for me. I must follow another path. All my life, I have harbored a secret. It drove me to leave home and seek adventure, but now I must face my inner truth. That I am not an Argonian. I am a crocodile. This lifetime, I have borrowed the form of another, but my true form is calling me home. I must return to the river. No, I am not. I never have. My entire life, I have felt like a crocodile out of water. Literally. I am old now, and this body is dying. If I become a crocodile, I can start anew, live the life I was meant to live. There is a way, an incantation, the crocodile song. I was never taught it, but I have known it my whole life. One song must end for another to begin. There is an old crocodile here, Ripplestrike. With his heart, I can sing the song. Thank you. The river has truly guided you here for this purpose. Take this charm, place it near Ripplestrike's nest. He will not be able to resist the call. He will come out, and then you can kill him. Ripple Strike no longer sings. Have you taken his heart? Hurry! We must move quickly if we are to renew the song. Here then, I will begin the incantation. I would ask you to help me in this one last thing before I return to the river. Join me in vengeance. These bandits have destroyed what's left of my home. I would begin my next life by avenging my previous one, but I will need you to guide me. I wish to kill their leader. When I become a crocodile, I will forget this life. If I fight beside you, I can keep my focus, at least for a little while. I have made the preparations. Eating the heart is the last step. Fight with me before I am gone forever. Are you ready? Though my mind may not recall the favor you have done for me, my spirit will. And the river. The river never forgets. This charm will keep me close. If we are parted, use it, and I will come. When our task is done, tell Drodara of my fate.
Narstig told me what you have done for Murkwatcher. Though this seemed dangerously unnatural to Drodara, there is no point in questioning it now. Though Drodara is sad to see Murkwatcher leave us, he is happy to know this evil man is dead. Perhaps someday this plantation may flourish again. Not by Drodara's hand, though. Narstig and I are leaving. Goodbye, and thank you.
Set likes a quick study.
take pity on me. 5, no, 10. 10 bandits beat me and made off with my belongings. All they left were these rags you see before you. The pain, it is without ending. Where did... Oh, over there somewhere, gleefully and jingling in their ill-gotten gains. Please, could you spare something for this one to make a fresh start? Pah, there are no bandits. You are listening, but you do not hear. This one should have known better than to ask. What a waste of time. Magre scorch you.
An undead
Please,
werewolf took over.
You've got to help me. I mean, us. I mean the whole town. The Countess has gone crazy, and everyone's fighting about who should be in charge. She's the only one who can run this place. We need to help her. I don't know, and if anyone would know, it would be me. I'm her manservant. The other day, she called all the servants up and dismissed us. Since then, she's been shut up in the house, refusing to leave. The whole town's talking about it. No, the Count died years ago, and she's been in charge ever since. Of course, every eligible man in Stormhaven has come calling, trying to court her, but she doesn't like them. Or hasn't married, at least. Please, can you just talk to her? I can't thank you enough. So many people in town just want to write her off. They're less worried about her welfare than they are about who should take authority of Windkeep. Ha, everyone asks that. King Afrin conquered Windkeep and renamed it Afrin's Hold, just to the south. The town kept the old name. It's a small place, but we do a fair amount of trade. The Countess is wealthier than most of her suitors. Yeah. The Countess has at least 5 different men who've been courting her. Not common folk like you and me, either. We're talking noblemen. People with lots of gold to throw around. They buy her some pretty fancy gifts. I wouldn't go near that place if I were you. They say it's haunted. Some other people came by asking about it recently. Haven't seen them since. So like I said, I wouldn't go there. I don't know. They were all wearing the same types of clothes. Looked like some kind of Daedric cultists. All the more reason to stay away from Afrin's Hold, if you ask me.
I know the Murtagh clan orcs are at Shinji's Scarp fighting them, but I can't help feeling nervous when I know there's an army of ogres just over the hill.
The lines on my face tell a sad story. The tale of a woman whose youth was stolen by circumstance. I was widowed even before I flowered. I did what I thought was right. I assumed the burden of leadership, but I paid for that choice. I paid dearly. Of course. Matthias is such a sweet boy, and he served me well. It's a pity that I no longer have need of his service. I've been so false, so empty. I have no right to be a countess. I can see that now in my reflection. Windkeep needs a real leader, not a little girl masquerading as a woman of authority. Don't you see how hollow I am? I'm a shell of a person. Just look in the mirror.
This mirror is not for your eyes. Look away. Go away. You look into the mirror, seeking answers. But there are no answers here for you. I am here for the Countess, and the Countess alone. You would be wise to be on your way. I have taken the Countess away, but it was with no animosity. The Countess you see before you is the reflection. The true Countess is in the mirror, and that is where she will stay. I will not. The mirror is the gift to her, but she is the gift to me. If you wish to release her, you'll have to pass through to the other side, into my domain. You shall find a warm welcome there.
An enchanted saddle warmer? You're too generous, Sir Bryce. I don't go riding often these days, but I do appreciate the gesture.
So, does that mean you will consider my request for your hand?
You make it hard to resist your advances, but I don't want to rush into anything.
Perhaps you should tell him the truth, Elise. That you and I plan to sell the estate and elope to Somerset Isle.
Indeed I would, Eurelian, if that were truly the case. I'm afraid you gentlemen will have to excuse me now. Do you see? Do you see what I've become? Look at the reflection! I'm old, I'm fat, and sometimes Argonian. No one will ever admire me again. It's not? Are you sure? I don't want to go back to a world where I'm reviled. Where is Matthias? Why hasn't anyone come to help me? He did? How do you know Matthias? Never mind. Can you take me to him? Can we leave this terrible place? Whoever you are, I'm going to make sure you're well rewarded for this. Well, that was an adventure now, wasn't it? I'm fortunate that you came along. You certainly have my thanks. Where is Matthias? Where are the other servants? I did? That's worse than I thought, then. I had absolutely no control over myself whatsoever. Or was that even me? I'm sorry, I'm not used to being compromised like this. But that only doubles my debt to you. My first order of business now will be to shatter that mirror into 1,000,000 pieces. Next, and possibly even more important, I need to find out which of my suitors gave me the accursed thing. Greed. Plain and simple. Since the day my husband died, there's been a line of suitors, each with a more extravagant gift than the last. They want to buy me and my title. I certainly have. Why should I share my land, my bed, with such fobbing louts? Now one of my suitors apparently seeks to take me out of the picture. Matthias will know which suitor dropped off the mirror. Would you help me investigate this? If you don't mind, please apologize to Matthias for me as well. Tell him I would have him and all the other servants return if they're willing. No more suitors, though. I'm done pretending. I have no intention of marrying again. Certainly not now. No, they're all equally shallow and untrustworthy. Sir Bryce and the Altmer Eurelian are the worst. It was probably one of those who gave me the mirror. Sir Bryce is a man of honor, a knight of the flame with what he claims is a passion to match. The poor man. Bryce believes his own falsehoods. He says he loves me, but if I were clothed in rags, I'd be invisible to him. He claims he was drawn across the leagues by my beauty, but the truth is that Eurelian is the disinherited son of some wealthy mage. Rather than a talent for magic, though, Eurelian has a talent for spending. He would have me be his bank. Oh, I'm sure that several of my suitors will have already suggested they take custody of the estate. Both Eurelian and Sir Bryce are likely trying to rally support so they can petition the king.
I saw nothing.
No, this can't be happening. Not Matthias. He wouldn't have stomped on a diseased rat, let alone hurt a person. We were just standing here talking. He said you went in to talk to the Countess, so we were waiting. Then all of a sudden an arrow flew out of nowhere right into his chest. He was dead before he hit the ground. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with what happened to the Countess. Did you talk to her? What did she say? Is she all right? The mirror? Is that what was wrong with her? Oh goodness, Matthias would have known. I don't really know the suitors. Maybe it was Sir Bryce, or that Altmer Eurelian. Probably the Altmer. He's shady. I'd check him first. I think he's from some rich family in the Aldmeri Dominion. All I've ever heard him talk about is gold. He even described the Countess's hair as strings of gold. Sir Bryce is really respectable. I don't know why the Countess isn't more receptive to him. He's a Knight of the Flame and everything. I think he would make a good husband. Of course, he's never even noticed me.
This blacksmith makes quite a bit of gold. I wonder how much he pays in taxes to the Countess. You mean, if I were the Count? I hoped for something like that, but my days of courting the Countess have come to an end. I've no gold left for gifts. Haven't been able to give her anything for weeks. She's already forgotten me. No, I'm afraid not. I couldn't afford to give her a flower. So it was a mirror that finally won her over. Maybe Sir Bryce or Rowleen Mounier was the lucky one. There is someone who would know for sure, but I'm sworn to secrecy. I suppose I'd be a fool to turn down such an opportunity. Very well, there's a young woman named Elaine who's obsessed with the Countess. What some might call a stalker. She'll know who presented the mirror. She's the one to ask.